When it comes to MIDI controllers, there's really no shortage of them out there. And if you stick to most of the bigger, well-known brands, it's really hard to get it wrong. Now, Arturia itself, it has a couple different offerings when it comes to budget controllers. And one of its most popular ones, the Minilab, it just got a major update. They changed some of the controls. They added an Arpeggiator and a MIDI port. The Minilab 3 doesn't look a whole lot different than its predecessor, the MK2. Its corners are a little bit more rounded, and it ditched 8 of its encoders for 4 sliders, but otherwise it pretty much keeps the same setup. You get 25 velocity sensitive keys, 8 velocity sensitive RGB pads, as well as mod and pitch touch strips above the keyboard. It has 4 wood panels on the side, and it gives it somewhat of a unique flair to kind of separate it from some of the other MIDI keyboards out there. The controller itself is pretty much what you'd expect for $109. You know, it's plastic, but you can tell it's not cheap. The knobs and sliders all have a pretty good amount of resistance, and the key bed is slightly springy. It's not weighted, but it doesn't feel like too cheap. Like I said, this is pretty much what you'd expect at this price point, and all controllers in this price point, you know, they all have their pros and their cons. Arturia has improved their integration with DAWs on the Minilab 3. The available controls have been greatly expanded for many apps with scripts that are customized for specific DAWs like Ableton Live or FL Studio. The Arpeggiator is one of my favorite options on here. It has 6 different playback modes, swing and gate controls, as well as your standard octave and time division options. There's also a chord mode that lets you play full rich chords with a single finger. If you don't have a lot of space and you're not trying to drag your controller all over the place, in my opinion, the Minilab 3 is a great option. Now I want to show you guys some of my favorite things about the Minilab 3. If you like me and you travel and you play piano, you know you need your sustain pedal. I can't tell you how many times I've been out of town working on some music and I've had to find a guitar center to go buy a sustain pedal just so I can play. One of the cool things about this is it has a hold function, so it's kind of like a sustain pedal. And you know, you don't necessarily need it. So if we go here and we just hit hold, I'll show you guys what I mean. So it's just like I'm playing with a sustain pedal. Another cool thing, or one of my favorite things about it, is if we hold shift and hold, it'll actually change the keys to play chords. So like this. And if we hit hold one more time, just like we played the chords, playing the separate notes, it'll actually play the chord notes as sustained. So like this. So that's pretty cool. Let's turn that off. Boom. Now let's talk about the arpeggiator, because that's another thing that I know I'm going to use a lot. So if we hold shift and hit the first pad, it's actually going to turn the arpeggiator on. All right, and if we hold shift and we actually hit it and hold it a little bit longer, just the first pad, what it brings up is the functions of the arpeggiator. So we can change it, turn it off and on with the first knob. We can change the direction of the arpeggiator up or down. We can change the division of the arpeggiator. Say you want to do something crazy with the hi-hat. Say you got 8th notes, so you want to fix it to 16th notes, or you want to do triplets or something. It does all of that. Let's keep on going. So let's change that back. So we also have the swing. All right, next knob, the gate. All right, this is the ARP rate or the BPM. It goes all the way down to 30. Let's see what the max is. Max 270. Boom. All right. We also have the ARP Sync, which you can either use it as the internal arpeggiator, or you can sync it to your DAW. I'm assuming you can sync it to your DAW. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm sure it'll work as a slave to whatever you assign as the master. But we're just going to use it internally. I always keep my arpeggiators on internal. And then you have your octave arpeggiator octave. So, man, I would sit here and play with this all day. I just love arpeggiators and what they do to sounds, but let's turn that off. Now we have our octave buttons right underneath the shift and hold, so we can change. Hold on, let's turn that off. All right, and your octave buttons also serve as your transpose buttons. Yeah, all you got to do is hold shift with transpose up. All right, and right below that we have our touch strips, our modulation wheel, and our pitch wheel. So my Arturia Keylab, my 49 key controller that I have, it is by far my favorite MIDI controller that I've had or that I've tried. One of the main things being the build quality. It's so robust. You can tell they put a lot into making it just sturdy and making it of quality. The Minilab 3 is of the same family. It's plastic, but it's sturdy. Oh, let me show you guys this though while we're doing it. So I pull up the Analog Lab 5, which is basically Arturia's hub of sounds, and you can see how easily it is to flip through sounds. So I'm just flipping through. I love that it just works seamlessly, and it's just so convenient being able to flip through sounds and not actually having to click on sounds, you know. But while we got it up, I was sitting here working on a beat. I'm gonna try to record something right quick. I love the way it feels. This is going to be my go-to MIDI controller now when I'm traveling. I'll be honest, a lot of times when I'm traveling, I'll buy a MIDI controller and I'll leave it at the studio wherever I'm at. But I'm going to travel with this one just because of those couple features that I showed you guys that it has. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my brief walkthrough of some of my favorite features of the Minilab 3. It does a host of other things, man. Like you can integrate your DAWs. I'm not sure exactly how to do it in Pro Tools. That's something I have to look up, but I didn't get super technical. Maybe I'll do another video really getting really technical with it and going in and going over some of the features. But I have to be honest, I'm not one of those guys that, you know I can assign the knobs and faders to do a whole bunch of crazy things. Whatever comes standard, that's how I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna go in there and tweak it and change it necessarily to my liking, because most of the time, however they put it is enough for my liking and what I needed to do. But hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that thumbs up for me. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one.